Exactly. And boy, we could do an entire program, and we will, and we have actually on this. TJ has this, and this is a pretty salient question, especially now as we're facing economic problems here in September, October. TJ wants me to ask you about the purchase or acquisition of ammunition by DHS and the MRAPs and so on. What do you feel that is all about, or do you have any inside knowledge about that?
Yes, a good question from TJ. It's very suspicious, and I'll tell you why. DHS bought, I believe it was 1.5 billion rounds of hollow point ammunition. They also bought 17,000 AR-15 rifles. When challenged on buying up that volume, they don't even burn up that much in Iraq in a month. And this is the domestic agency inside the United States buying this ammunition for their response was personal protection, quote unquote, and for training. Primarily, Janet Napolitano said, well, we bought it primarily for training purposes. Well, those of us that have trained around the world using ammunition know you do not use hollow point ammunition for training. Number one, that's made to go inside somebody and totally destroy their insides. And two, it's very, very expensive. And three, it's a violation of NATO regulations. So when you train with ammunition, you use your typical NATO-approved 9mm copper-jacketed rounds. You do not use hollow point ammunition. That was without question at best inaccurate and probably a lie. The ammunition situation that we have now in the United States, I have never seen anything like this before. We talk about this all the time. You can't find ammunition anywhere. It's gone. DHS has bought up most of it. Now we know that the Department of Education has a SWAT team. All these cabinet-level people are getting their own SWAT teams. DHS now has 2,700 armored vehicles that they purchased for domestic use. And now people are saying, what is going on? And, of course, they're not telling us. So to answer the question, this situation with ammunition is very serious and it's very suspicious, and it's being felt by everyone. Think about it. If you were going to subvert a society, you can't take away Americans' guns. They ain't going to let that happen. So it is apparent that somebody up there had thought and came to the conclusion, hey, we got a better idea. We'll take the ammunition, and then the gun is just a stick. And all of a sudden, here we are. My wife and I can't even go out and train with our guns for fun because we don't want to burn up the ammunition because you can't find it anywhere. So to answer the question, yeah, there's something very out of the ordinary going on with that.
Wow. Okay. And that confirms what we've talked about. And holy cow. And talk about information overload. When you think about what's coming here and look at the larger picture, obviously, yeah, you might have an AR-15. Use it as a baseball bat to club people over the head with because of the lack of ammunition. Very true.
Yeah. Right.
Now I've got Karen in Rome, a dear friend, who it's 4:25 in the morning there. And Karen's been listening live to this, and she's got this very burning question that she, in her words, that she wants to ask. And this is kind of a little bit on the periphery of things, but let me ask it anyway because she's waiting for an answer. Korean Airlines flight 007, now it's 30 years ago that this happened. The aircraft that was shot down by Soviet Su-15 interceptor, and Congressman Larry McDonald. Do you have any information on that? I know that's kind of an out there question, but
yes.
Any thoughts on that? Yes,
and good question, Karen, and good for you being up early in the morning. I hope you have some coffee or something. Flight 007, in my opinion, based on, they had the cockpit recordings that they intercepted from the Soviets in the MiGs, and based on the cockpit conversations going back and forth with control, there is no question in my mind that aircraft was shot down by the Soviet Union to stop McDonald's efforts and knock that thing out of the sky. And I think there's plenty of evidence, if you listen to the recordings and the circumstances around it, that that's exactly what happened.
In particular, she wants to know if you think that perhaps that he, Congressman McDonald, because of his outspoken nature to the extent of fighting the this tyranny that he saw even back then, whether he could have been a specific target or this could have been retribution for something that happened.
In my view, he was a specific target. He was making some very, very good progress on his mission, and he was a serious threat and very public about what he was doing, and they knew he was on that flight. And yes, I think it's very possible that he could have been the specific target.
I got to tell you, that's not what I expected for an answer, really. But folks, think about that, especially in light of where we're at today with this surveillance prison camp in which we live. Mr. Shipp, I know that you've been very kind with your time, and I know that your time is valuable. So I want to turn it back over to you. Before I do, though, folks, understand this: Mr. Shipp has written a book, and the book itself, and this is so fascinating, and I got to tell you, this is broken on the Hagman and Hagman Report exclusively, and I want to thank them for that. But the book, From the Company of Shadows, this is a book about the CIA and about what has happened to Mr. Shipp himself, his family, what he's gone through. But here's the thing, and I just find this extremely interesting. The book contains a code. If you order it from his website, you will be treated with how would I put this, Mr. Shipp? A code in there that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll receive. It'll be, and as we talked about earlier, this is not about selling the book. This is about the message in the book. They'll receive a signed copy, and the numeric code will be stamped on the inside cover of copies that come through the author website. So they'll be a little bit more unique than the ones that you get off of Amazon.com.
Gotcha. And of course, that, as we said earlier, and we are picking up new listeners, it seems like every hour here, but that code does provides the key to really the unredacted version, if you will, of the book. So it's great. But let me turn this back over to you, Mr. Shipp. What do you think is important here to close with, to end with, to give people information about what's taking place here in this country? I'm just going to turn the floor back over to you. You've got it. Take it for as long as you want.
Sure.
You've got a worldwide audience. Go for it.
Sure. Thanks, Doug. As someone that served our country, America, even humbly with my life, I have seen our Constitution basically overridden by the current government. And what used to be, as I mentioned before, especially the First and Fourth Amendments, our government routinely violates those with impunity, and they can't be challenged on that. And if they are, they invoke the state's secret privilege, seal it, and no one ever sees it. They withhold information from Congress. This was a constitutional government of which Congress is a pivotal point. They've blocked them out of what they're doing. That is a serious situation. And now we're in kind of a gigantic electronic concentration camp where we are surrounded by the NSA domestic spying program, which they lied about twice, and now they finally have come out and said, well, they actually are looking at the content of our emails, phone calls, internet searches, even the photographs of our license plates, and they're disseminating that information to law enforcement for them to make warrantless arrests of people on the street. That is a police state. And all of us, Americans and even people outside of America, need to understand that America is in a post-constitutional government, and one of the solutions is education. We need to understand that we have a constitutional crisis in America. People need to know about it. They need to maybe take some time away from their video games and their Android phone and a little time away from the TV and look and study about what is going on, because we are losing our country right before our eyes. Can we get it back? That's a whole other discussion. But the United States, as it was, is no longer. We're in a post-constitutional government. Now the people have to stand up with what freedom we have left. We have to speak out civilly in an educated and professional way. We need to stand up against this, speak, write, give seminars, organize. And do we have time left to do that? Some of us are a little bit more jaded about that because things are moving so fast. I won't answer that because I don't think the audience would like the answer, but we are in a crisis in America right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You have some media appearances upcoming. I forget radio or TV. Would you like to
plug
tell
those.
the audience?
Well, I'm a big fan. Yeah, sure. I'm a big fan of Sun News Network in Canada. Sun News Network in Canada is a lot like you guys. It's kind of a more free news than you get. For example, if I tried to get on MSNBC, I don't think I'd even make it past one email, So I like to work with Ezra Levant on Sun News Network and Michael Corrin. I've been on Michael Corrin's program and Ezra's program talking about these very same issues. So I'd love to plug Sun News Network because they're, like you all, they're now one of the only remaining free television stations that will actually put the truth out there. And so I've been doing interviews with them.
Fantastic. And so that's coming up, next week you're going to be doing an interview with them?
Yeah. I've been talking to the producer. It looks like probably Monday or Tuesday of next week, depending on their show schedule. But, yeah, it should be early next week.
Okay, very good. Wow, that's great. Are you up for a call or two, Kevin? Or
Sure, sure.
Okay, all right. Joe, can we go to the phones? I'm not sure of the status of our switchboard there. If we can take a call.
We can.
All right, great.
All right, we're going to go to 865 area code. You're up. You're live on the Hagman and Hagman Report. What's on your mind tonight? (865) area code. You're live on the Hagman and Hagman Report.
865. Any questions for our guest, Mr. Shipp? All right, let's move on.
All right, area code 813. We're coming to you next.
813, you're up. Any questions for Mr. Shipp?
Okay, we're going to go to Donna. Donna, thanks for being patient and holding. You're live on the Hagman and Hagman Report.
Hey, I have to go downstairs because I have you on my computer upstairs. I'm in colorful Colorado in Steamboat Springs, and I have to admit I'm a little bit disturbed by what I'm hearing in regards to the Muslim Brotherhood. My question for Mr. Shipp is, how much time do we have left before they kill the dollar?
Before they kill who? I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
Kill the dollar.
I'm sorry, sir.
Kill the
dollar.
Goodness. Yeah, thank you for that question, Donna. That's a good question because that is a very, very serious issue. I talked to a lot of financial analysts on that, the devaluation, eventual elimination of the dollar. It's important to realize this was a short blurb on the news. Most people missed it. Both Russia and China have made an agreement, a joint agreement, that they will no longer recognize the dollar as the global currency. They've moved away from that. The IMF is talking about instituting SDCs, or SDRs, special drawing rights, where they eliminate the dollar currency altogether and start using numerical drawing accounts for nations coming in. And Obama has come out and said that he would support that kind of idea. The estimates that I'm getting regarding the dollar is somewhere between 3 and 5 years. We could see a collapse of the U.S. dollar, and we all know what that means and where we go from there. So that's what I know on that issue, Donna.
Oh, and just to let Doug and Joe know, I guess they're chemtrailing here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And I did take some pictures. No, I seriously saw them doing it. I never thought I'd see something like that in an area like this because I used to live here. And one of the things I noticed prior to leaving was, and I think this is around 06, 07, was that the heirs to ExxonMobil, it's a small town, keep that in mind, the heir to ExxonMobil was moving here. You can check this. A guy named Jim Mann, I don't care if he knows I said this, he moved here from New York, a lot of money, helipad, private jet, so that's New York money, and the heir to pharmaceutical companies. So it's something you might want to look into if you get a chance. I don't know why. It's just a small town, but check it out if you want. All right, good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Donna.
Thanks so very much. Wow.
Yeah, I keep supporting you guys. Love you.
You're a great lady. God bless you. Thank you for helping us stay on the air.
All right, we're going to move right along. Thank you, Donna, for the call. We're going to go to Mary Ann next. 804, you're live on the Hagman and Hagman Report.